Welcome to the Be Happy Now show. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. I'm Claudia-Sam. If you know that you're here for a bigger reason, this is the place to be. Together, we ditch the self-care guilt and quit the go with less fear and more trust. Tune in to living life in alignment with your full potential. The Be Happy Now show starts now. Hi, welcome to Empowered. Yes, this episode is all about embodying your inner power. We're going to talk about what does it look like when we walk through life feeling empowered. What does it look like when you're not being pushed down by anybody's fears or worries and doubts? And what can it mean for you to expand into your most confident self, your emotional self, all parts of who you are, because you get to love up on them, love them, love them up. I'm Claudia-Sam. I'm your soul connection coach. And one of the reasons why empowered came to be a topic is that my clients and I think the whole world, many people in the world, have been feeling like life is happening at them. That there are many circumstances, okay? Put aside the actual fact that life kind of stalled for 2 years during a pandemic. We were forced to figure things out, be creative, find solutions, be open to going with the flow, to shifting our focus when we realized that we were not in control of every little detail in our life. How many times have you felt disappointed or taken by surprise that what's happening in your life is not what you want? That all of a sudden you set a goal or you set a vision or you set an intention and you want something to happen and you work towards it, and then you go, well, this wasn't supposed to happen. Let me know. Is there a situation in your life that has you feeling like life is throwing rocks at you? Like you are being picked up by the tornado of circumstances. Now, if you are in the Zoom room with me, this is the once a month live pop-up workshop in conjunction with the Be Happy Now show, where you get to be live on the recording of the episode and then stay with me for an extra 30 minutes where we get to chat, exchange, you get to receive coaching, and we have a look at the topic of the show in a personal way with you and what you're going through. So if you're in the Zoom room with me, please feel free to comment and let me know so that I can, use your experiences and your examples anonymously so that it can also benefit others who might feel disempowered, who might feel like life is happening at them and they're losing control. And if you're not in the Zoom room and you want to be, then head over to thebehappynowshow.com and click on Get Reminders Weekly for the shows, and that will give you a chance to get to know when the next pop-up workshop is and what the topics of the weekly episodes are. Now, if you want to participate, if you want to answer these questions live, then hop onto my Facebook page, Claudia-Sam Soul Coaching, I believe is the Facebook page, and you get to ask questions there, or on the Transformation Talk Radio page until November 3rd. So yes, the topic of empowered, here's a cool play on words that I've tuned into. In French, the word love is M, or to love would be aimer, okay? When you say I love you, you say je t'aime. Empowered to me, in when I say the word empowered, I think about M as in love in French. M, powered. So the power that you love, loving the power. Because what we're discussing today is the inner power. It's not about the, I don't know, big corporations having power over you having your job or losing your job. I'm not talking about the big politics or um, the uh, big financial institutions that they have power over us. That's not the term that we're playing with today. When we're talking about empowerment, I'm going to open up the discussion with you. I would love to hear in what ways do you love your inner power? And maybe you're like, Claudia-Sam, I don't know what my inner power is. We're going to talk about that. But please write that down. In what ways do you love accessing your inner power? What does it look like for you to access your inner power? We're going to discuss this a little bit more. Empowered. So here's the thing. Sometimes to know what is what in life, to give meaning to things, we kind of need to know, well, what's the opposite? So let's start the discussion by looking at what makes you feel disempowered. What has been making you feel disempowered? And yes, I'm using the term making you feel because that's often how we feel when life is throwing rocks at us and we feel like the victim. We feel like life is happening at us and not for us. It feels like everything around us is making us feel a specific way. So, right now in your life or recently, what has made you feel disempowered? What would be another way that you refer to disempowered? And this is where I want to go. So I'm saying these questions out loud so that they can kind of marinate in your energy field so that you can allow these questions to come to you either right now, because if you pause the podcast, if you're listening to the show in the replay as a replay and you want to pause, then you get to tune into those questions right away. And if you want to just let the universe and positive energy source and your intuition come up with the meaning that you have around the word disempowered, well, you get to just allow those to come in whenever they come. Here's an example of what I see would be disempowering energy or being in a disempowered energy. I'm going to give you an example of a situation. In 2016, when I was traveling, I arrived for the first time in New Zealand and my luggage was lost. It was still in India, actually. It wasn't lost. It was still in India. Luggage was in India. I was in New Zealand. That didn't feel quite comforting or safe. And so I remember freaking out. Where's my luggage? Oh my gosh, I'm in this new place. I don't have the luggage. Meh, meh, meh. The disempowered energy was me giving in to the victim, the victimization of, I don't have my luggage. This isn't working out. I shouldn't be here. Maybe I should go. What if I had done this instead? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have said this. Just going down that spiral stresses me out. A disempowered action or a disempowered way of being is doubting, feeling guilty, overthinking, being in the past, trying to fix something that you have no control over. For me, that is disempowering. It is giving my power away to the flight company, giving my power away to the insurance company, giving my power away to the past, and not allowing for the present moment's gifts to open up within me. So, what does being disempowered look like for you? Share with me, what does disempowered, what would a recent action of giving your power away, of giving up the belief that you're okay, when was that last? And what did that look like? We're not here to judge. We're not here to say, that was wrong, I should never do that again. No, we're here to go, oh, well, look at that. That's how I acted. I might have been giving my power away. I see people giving their power away also, when you meet someone new and that person wasn't in your life before, but all of a sudden you give all of your attention to that person, all of your focus, all of your thoughts, all of your good actions, and then that person leaves your life. They leave with your power because there was a disconnect. It was like all of a sudden I'm going to give to you, and I'm going to forget about me. So disempowerment also can look like that. Okay, so then how can we go through life embodying our inner powerful self, be able to not give our power away, not make decisions like, and when I say make decisions, I mean deciding which thoughts to think. I mean deciding who to say yes to, who to support, where to go, where to spend your time. Okay? Those decisions, when we give our power away, when we give, when we forget about ourselves, when we put ourselves last, when we lead everyone else in our lives and we forget to lead ourselves, that is also disempowering. When was the last time you felt that? And where does disempowerment land in your body? Where does disempowerment land in your body? For me, I wanted to just copy and paste the comments here and then it didn't. There you go. Pardon me. Quick pause. When we decide that we no longer want to choose being disempowered, that is when a new door, a new possibility, and many openings can be received by you. I'm going to say that again. When you decide that you can now choose to be in a disempowered energy, and you can also choose to be in an empowered energy, wow, the tables are turning, doors are opening, possibilities are arriving. You find coupons in your purse. You meet this person who shows you to your next job. You find a house that you were meant to be in. You open yourself up to manifesting your highest possible life because you make a choice of shifting from disempowerment to giving your power away to empowerment. Okay, so we were talking about how can we do that. It first starts by acknowledging that you have the choice to shift your focus from I'm the victim of life is happening to me and I'm never going to get out of it to wait a minute, there are solutions and I am open to receiving them. That's all it takes to open one of those doors to possibility, to empowerment, to choosing being empowered. All that it takes is the willingness to go, okay, I'm willing to receive. I'm willing to receive opportunities. I'm willing to get out of being a victim, of treating myself like the victim, like things are happening to me and I can't get out of it and the circumstances rule my life. Because it doesn't have to be that way. If circumstances happened in your life super quick, the law of polarity, one of the 12 universal laws, states that circumstances then can arrive in your life this quick, totally the opposite, more positive way. It's like a pendulum. Both opposites exist. Both opposites exist. So you get to choose disempowerment or empowerment. And sometimes, hey, we will be the victim and we will sit in the corner crying and being angry and sad. Great. You are not in disempowerment when you are fully honoring your emotions. So to continue on the how to embody your inner power, to empowerment, to love your inner power, to keep your power and nurture it and know what that is. Here's a few words, here's a few definitions that I came up with that empowerment is like. And I invite you to either write which ones resonate for you and or journal on what empowerment means to you. Because we looked at disempowerment, now we get to look at empowerment and acting from that inner power, choosing you time and time again, choosing the possibility instead of the impossibility is also a choice. Okay? So empowerment to me means not being squashed down by others' fears. Not being squashed down by others' fears. So many people think, nah, that's never going to happen to me. Nah, that's not possible. So if you come in with a possibility that, no, I deserve a higher paying job. No, I can get this next opportunity. Yes, I can travel because I've never traveled alone. And some people are afraid maybe to travel alone. Well, I can travel alone. And you believing in that possibility is you not being squashed down by other people's fears. Empowerment to me means believing that my circumstances are not permanent and mean nothing about me. Empowerment to me means being courageous and taking a step towards what my higher self wants. And what my higher self wants is often to jump out of my comfort zone. It's often to do what will allow me to feel the most fulfilled. And that might be to make big shifts in my life. Okay, being courageous, like starting my own business, being courageous, like leaving the job that I had, being courageous, like going to Nepal and doing a teacher training, being courageous to feel my emotions, being courageous to shift my thoughts from disempowered, victimized thoughts to empowered, powerful thoughts is also courageous. Not giving up on my dreams, that is being empowered. Choosing which voice to listen to, the ego or the soul. Should I listen to this voice that thinks it makes sense to go this route? Today, I was on the road and I had an appointment to go to the acupuncturist that I missed because I didn't listen to my intuition with which road to take. Here's the real thing. Look, I teach how to tune in and listen to your intuition. And even I get to flex this muscle every day, every decision I make. And sometimes I go, oh, well, look at that. That's another way I could have practiced it differently. Everything happens perfectly. And I learned today that this is another way that I'm practicing listening to my intuition on the spot. I'm driving, I go left or I go right away. Well, I should have gone, if I went left, I would have not been stuck in traffic and I would have made my appointment. And going right it made sense because it's the direction of the highway, but my intuition wanted to go another route that would have taken longer, but I wouldn't have been stuck in traffic. Oh, well, it happens. Then the empowered way to look at this is, oh, well, this happens. and not be a victim of my decision and blame and be in judgment, that would be being disempowered. So empowerment is making my own rules. Empowerment is being a leader in all that I do. And being a leader in those decisions, even in the instant, also means going, oh, well, actually, oh my gosh, I got scared. There's a huge wind and the leaves from the trees just smacked in the window. Being empowered is honoring that that's there instead of ignoring it. Being empowered is letting others speak and listen, or kindly set boundaries to be respected. Empowerment to me means honoring my commitments. Empowerment means seeing the humanness in everyone, okay, and how no one is perfect. The person who made the traffic happen, let's say that's what happened. That's not what happened. But, sometimes we can blame the car that goes slower and that doesn't check their tires or whatever and then gets into traffic. Well, instead of blaming the person and sending negative energy and anger towards them, well, we get to see them as human. That is empowerment too, because that is not giving our power away by blaming or judging anyone else. Empowerment is having the ability to turn on a light in a dark room of our inner landscape, or courageously staying in the dark with curiosity. So empowerment can look like you being in a ball and crying and eating popcorn. Yes, you are no longer a victim of it when you are keeping your power, meaning not judging the emotion, not wanting to push it away or ignore it. That is empowerment. And empowerment is when you choose to look for possibilities and opportunities instead of thinking that all the doors are closing behind you. When an opportunity finishes, when I know some of you that have things that are closing, chapters that are closing, well, are we willing to look at those as, wow, I get to add a beautiful book on my shelf and I get to open up a new one and maybe many new ones. The last book that was written on that last chapter or the last part of my life gets to contribute to those new chapters. Maybe now we'll get to choose what the pages look like, how many words, what the colors. Maybe we just get to rewrite with an empowered energy what we want our life to look like. And lastly, to me, empowerment means never feel defeated. And if you do feel defeated, feel it, and then trust that your inner power is yours. That from the place of inner power, you get to access your inner confidence because it's always there. And when you choose to switch from disempowerment to empowerment, then it's like, wow, my life is in alignment because I'm consistently choosing. When circumstances happen in your life and you're like, okay, life is happening at me, well, no, see it like this. Every time you put blame or you judge the situation or you make it wrong or you make it mean that it's slowing you down or that it's regressing you and your progress and your success, are you willing to see that the blame and the judgment and the pessimism and the negativity, that is energy that it's almost like leaking your power? Are you willing to see it like that? As if you were putting your energy in a colander every time you blame, and then it seeps out drip by drip until you have no more inner power to believe that you can be empowered. Tune into that. Next time you find yourself in a spiraling down of negativity, of victimization, of this shouldn't have happened, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have said this, all of that is sucking your inner power and it's giving it to someone else. I hope that this talk helped you to gain perspective on the inner choices that you get to make. And listen, we all get to practice being human. Okay, and being human means having both the pendulum of disempowerment and empowerment. Being human means loving being in a joyful energy and maybe hating being in an angry energy. And maybe it's the other way around. There are polar opposites to everything. And by recognizing that you have the choice to be in all of them, it kind of takes the pressure away. It feels less like you have those boxing gloves and you want to fight your way through, because now it gets to be like a movie that you watch and you get to experience it from a witnessing point of view. Okay? And from the witnessing point of view, then you get to choose what you give your power to, what you give your focus to, and how you move through life to keep going to the confident self, keep going to your empowered self. Thank you for being here. If you would like an empowerment activation, I'm offering these. I have limited spots. I only opened 11 spots. I right now have 10 spots left. And there you can go to calendly.claudiasamsoulcoaching.com/empowered to book your free empowerment activation, where you will really get to create your vision from a place of empowerment and know what steps to take to keep accessing that inner confidence. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Be Happy Now show with me, Claudia-Sam. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. Tune in live every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on transformationtalkradio.com. You are worthy of being you and of connecting to what stops you from living the life you are meant to live. Access more soul connection coaching at claudiasamcoaching.com.